Hey everybody, and welcome back. So Pierre Poilievre seems to be getting a little bit of desperate and trying to stay relevant as best he can, and he's starting to pander to I want to say anti-vaxxers, people who don't believe in science, people don't believe in um, who believe in these health gurus that they watch on YouTube that say everything in the grocery store is evil and will kill you, and that you should buy their supplements at the end of their video. He's he's starting to try to placate to them. Now we're gonna see a video of his on his channel, and the things that he says is very similar to what's going on in the U.S. with RFK Jr., Maha, Make America Healthy Again, and it's going down a dangerous path. Let's take a look at what he has to say, and then we'll talk more about it. This is not good, not good at all.
Hi, everybody. We're here today with a beautiful kettlebell, 35 pounds. So, not the heaviest ever, but a good tool, a gym with a handlebar, right? That's what these are.
He's got to stop with this kettlebell. It's starting to get cringe now. Like, it was okay when he went on Joe Rogan's podcast, brought it as a gift and everything else. That's cool. But now it seems like he brings it with everywhere, and every time he tries to make a point, he brings out a kettlebell. It's like a mascot for him now. We know you work out. Yes, great. You're trying to be healthy. Good for you.
So, we're here to promote free choice and more competition in your health. Right now, the pharmaceutical companies are working to block natural health products. They brought in, the liberals have brought in terrible regulations and taxes. They don't protect public health, by the way. They're just designed to ensnare communities and people in more red tape and bureaucracy. So,
Listen, you got to be careful when someone says free choice and natural, take it with a grain of salt. Pharmaceutical companies are not blocking natural remedies. It's an old wives' tale. I kind of believed this too when I was younger. But then when you actually look at it, what examples? Like, no one ever brings up examples of a product that was blocked by the pharmaceutical company. If something has not been approved, say for here in Canada, Europe, US, or whatever, it's because it didn't meet standards or the safety to when they test a product, they got to make sure it's doing what it's supposed to do, and also not going to be hurting anybody in terms of adverse effects, um, issues with taking it, like say supplements, because there's supplements out there that if you take too much, it can do damage, like iron, vitamin D, any type of supplement. For as far as I understand, that's not water soluble, that you pee it out, built up in the body and can have adverse effects. Even calcium could be built up in your arteries of your heart if you take too much. And those are natural, like those, that's natural. You can't get more natural than that. Iron, calcium, vitamin D. But there's consequences to taking too much. So that's why we have rules and regulations to make sure what they're giving you, that there's warning labels and things like that to protect the consumer. And this idea of free choice, if we had free choice, we wouldn't have any regulations. We'd say, hey, if you weren't smart enough to know that you were going to be defrauded, that's on you. But we're here to protect people from being defrauded, like people like Pierre Poilievre and whoever these women are, going to feed you a bunch of lies. That's why there's red tape. That's why there's bureaucracy, especially when it comes to food and medication. Just because it's being used in other parts of the world. And that idea, when he says that, he doesn't give examples. He just says in other parts of the world. People always assume Europe because Europe has got the idea of everything is clean and healthy there. They still have sickness. They still have death. They still have issues, just like here in Canada and North America. There's different issues and different problems. They we have an issue with work-life balance, which also causes stress and reduces our life expectancy. But they also have rules and regulations. bureaucracy, testing. So this idea of free and choice, you got to stay away from that.
A lot of different natural health products that are available around the world, safely used for a long time, are not available here. The industry is shutting down. $450 million is going out the door. Julie, tell us what this will mean for the sector and for the health of Canadians.
Well, we want to make sure that we create prevention instead of reacting. We want to give better health and liberal choice to consumers to take natural product to better their health. And we also want to protect brands and retailers out there that are working hard and getting all the products and innovation in the hands of consumers.
You agree with that?
Absolutely.
So what do you mean protect the retailers and the brands to get that product into the hands of the consumers? They should be protected as long as the products that they're selling have been tested. Are we trying to say that we're going to take away all liability to these companies? That if something does happen to somebody, they'll say, well, we're no longer liable. And this idea of proactive instead of reactive, agreed, 100%. How about we start with exercise? How about we start with simple things, exercise and a balanced diet, not a carnivore diet, not a unless you're a celiac or gluten intolerant, not like, oh, we got to stay away from all gluten unless there's a medical reason, or paleo diet or this diet or fasting, intermittent fasting. They're all gimmicks, all of it. When you starve your body, you do damage. That's what happens. Anything that works is calorie deficient, where you're burning more than what you're taking in, and exercise. That's foolproof. That works 100% of the time. The problem is it's difficult. People get hungry. People get, because of their work, their life with kids, they don't have time for exercise, or they feel they have to go to a gym to get the proper exercise, that they're just even go for a 10-minute walk every day. But even then, sometimes people don't have the time for go a 10-minute walk. So they're just trying to sell everybody a easy, quick solution to make you healthy. There's no such thing. It takes work. It takes time. You have to be consistent. I agree with him on the gym, because he goes to the gym. You need to go to the gym. You need, well, again, you need to be active, a sport, walking, gym, whatever you can do to be active. Sitting at a desk is not active. Even construction sites, you see a lot of guys on the construction site that are not healthy and they're active, because that's a balance. You got to be active and have a healthy diet. Those alone would do more than any of all these natural remedies would do.
Absolutely, 100%. We want to make it easier for industry and for Health Canada too. Want to make everyone's lives easier.
Absolutely. Right now, there's too many taxes, there's many delays in getting things approved, and
there's a reason why there's delays, because they didn't meet the criteria to be safe under the standards. If you start reducing standards, you put people's lives in danger. We can have an actual discussion on specific standards, but they're alluding to, and people are eating this up, is all standards are bad. Because I heard somebody on a YouTube channel say that this is a miracle product, that this cured someone's cancer with no statistical data, clinical trials, or anything like that. It's just hearsay that they want to be able to try to help their cancer diagnosis. This is dangerous.
they're treating it like pharmaceuticals rather than like a natural health product, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, they're treating it like pharmaceuticals than a natural health product, because natural health products can still hurt you. Iron supplements, too much of it can be damaging. Calcium can clog your arteries. Too much buildup in your heart. Vitamin D, too much, can also cause kidney damage. If I'm not mistaken, it's kidney damage. Okay. Natural remedies can also be damaging to your body. That's why there's regulations, even though in the supplements industry, there's very little regulations. There should be more because people are taking it like it's, again, I've stated before, like it'll cure their cancer. So you got to be careful on what he is saying because it's not to help you. It's an image that he's there for you. But at the end of the day, there will be no protections for when something goes wrong that you have no one to go after.
And what would Blaine Calkin's Conservative bill do to fix this?
Well, it will help us to make the regulation and the availability of those products go faster through the process, where right now the length of time is so long that some brands get out of business before even getting on shelf.
Right.
Yeah.
You agree with that?
Yeah.
Do you think that bill is going to be good?
Absolutely. Yeah, we just want to make sure that natural health products are accessible and affordable for Canadians.
And treated like natural health products, so they don't have to go through enormous pharmaceutical trials when it's.
Yeah, I know. Again, so as long as you label it being natural, you don't have to do any testing like the supplement industry. This is dangerous. Do you understand that? And this natural branding, what's natural? Unless you're taking it off a tree from the ground without modifying it whatsoever, to me, that's not natural. Anything you like, people say, well, it's using natural ingredients. Again, that's so vague. Pharmaceutical companies and their medicines and their pharmaceuticals and their products are considered natural. They take products from the earth, modifying it, doing whatever they got to do, but it's still ingredients from the earth, and they make a product. Okay? No different than, say, baking an apple pie. There's two different ways of making an apple pie, using natural ingredients like sugar, dough, fruit, and things like that, instead of corn syrup, modified starches, this and that, and so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, you're still taking ingredients and making a product, and those ingredients are coming from the earth. Now, we can have an argument on certain ingredients don't work well with us. We can't digest them as well, or too much of certain ingredients can be harmful. Yes, we'll have a discussion on that. But to say one's more natural than the other, even the supplements or those supplements that you buy off of health gurus on YouTube, are those natural? They're coming from a factory. They're produced from a factory. How do you know where they got those ingredients? How do you know how they got those ingredients? Take an example, olive oil, where you got extra virgin of olive oil and then olive oil blends, where you got the first press, where you actually got remnants of the olives at the bottom of the olive oil bottle. Okay? What about the olive oil that's pressed 3 times, 4 times, or they say they use a chemical process to extract more of the oil out of the olive? Again, are they using the original press, or are they using the chemical olive oil process? It's the same thing with those products, those natural products. How are they getting those ingredients? You don't know. But just because they labeled it as natural and they've done a bunch of videos for you to trust them, you don't ask the right questions. And that's what they're doing here.
It's clear that they are safe, and they are. You can debate the efficacy of a different natural remedy, but then let people try it out and use it. As long as it's safe, the government should get out of the way and let you.
The efficacy of a product. See how he's kind of protecting himself there? Yes. Certain products might be safe, but they don't work. And there's a lot of that out there. That's what grifters do. Promise you a cure from something that's not going to hurt you, but it's not going to do anything. That still, to me, is hurting you. Now, testing is what it will make sure that it won't hurt you. But if you get rid of these regulations, then how do we know the product's not going to hurt you? You don't. So this idea, let the public try. Why? Why should the public waste their money? They should be told this works and does this because we've tested it. This doesn't work because we've done this because we've tested it. So therefore, they're not wasting their time, which could be valuable for people when they have a health issue, but they're not going to get hurt and they're not going to waste their money.
Use the products that you want, your body, your choice. That's the freedom we want, and we want you to take your health into your hands. Help me out here.
I want to show you one other video from Neil deGrasse Tyson, famous physicist. You've probably seen him, but he puts this into perspective very easily. So I want to show you what he has to say on this stuff and this subject.
When we were all in the caves, half of everyone born was dead before the age of 30.
Jesus.
Fast forward to 1840.
Sure.
That number went up to 35. Half of everyone born was dead by the time they were 35. So, in the tens of thousands of years between living in caves and the middle of the 19th century,
we only got 5 more
we got
years.
5 years
Jesus.
on that. Okay? Since then,
Yeah.
with advances in medicine, and oh, by the way, everyone back then was eating organic. Just saying. And the water was clear, the air ran pure, the game was free range. Didn't make a damn bit of difference. Science matters here, okay? All right? You can run around and eat all the organic you want.
Okay.
You'd be dead by the 30 unless some doctor came in and said, we can increase your life expectancy using science.
You're directing this at me as if I'm RFK Jr. I'm not. I'm just telling you I'm not. Okay.
Hold me back.
All right.
Let me get up.
So I want to elaborate a little bit what Neil deGrasse Tyson was talking about. So he was talking about 1840s, okay? In 1840s, the life expectancy went from 30 to 35. We got a few extra years. And one of the reasons why was smallpox, okay? Because in 1796 was the very first vaccine that was developed for smallpox, which saved a lot of lives, which increased the life expectancy, okay? And then in 1861, they started coming out with germ theory. You know, actual germs that they discovered that the germs were the cause of a lot of the diseases and infections. So then we started talking about washing hands, especially doctors when they went into surgery, infections, cleaning the wounds better. When you tended to people with wounds, you would wash your hands so you wouldn't infect the wound, because people would die just from a simple scratch. So science continued to evolve, got more vaccines, more medications, better procedures for infections, for surgeries, things like that. And our life expectancy over the last 100 years went through the roof. Depending on where you are in the world, is anywhere from like 75 to like 86. But that's other factors. So he made a really good point. Pierre Poilievre talks about natural. You're telling me in 100,000 years of humans being around that we did not have the knowledge from the natural environment that we had a life expectancy of 30 to 35? And I don't want to hear about, there was people that lived into their 80s. Yeah, but those are outliers. The average life expectancy was 30 to 35. The average life expectancy now is anywhere from 75 to 85 and so on and so forth, depending on where you are. The average. More people are living to that age. Hence, the reason why we have 7 billion people on Earth right now. Again, over 100,000 years, I think the biggest population was 500 million in the 1800s. It took us over 100,000 years, we could never break 1 billion people. And it was only in the last 100 years, 200 years that we did. How does that make sense if we were healthier back then? It's not even just like the medicines, it's the surgeries, C-sections for births that we didn't have. Infant mortality was reduced. Nutrition, we understand nutrition better. Stay away from people who don't know what the hell they're talking. Don't listen to me. You got to listen to actual experts that have degrees that are not YouTube gurus, health gurus. These ones that go out, put a magnet through rice and cereal and show that there's metal shavings in it, and don't even understand the basics that that's iron. Iron is iron, which you need. You'll find iron in meats, in the bloods from the meat that we eat. That if you took a magnet, you would find iron there as well. Or cellulose. They say, oh, we got wood in our foods. Cellulose is the basic building block of any plant or fruits. Okay? It's fiber. Yes, you could say they get it from woods, but wood is still cellulose, it's still fiber. They're tricking you guys to make you afraid, so you buy their products that, if it was up to Pierre Poilievre, that would not be regulated. They have a better chance of making more money, selling it to you guys as the next cure for cancer. And then if something goes wrong, like that lady was saying in Pierre Poilievre's video, making it safer for the companies to bring the products here. Hey, as long as they pass the test, they can bring it all they want. But you got to make it safer for the companies? No, we're not doing this. So I hope you take this in consideration and actually maybe look into other sources of information when it comes to health. We all need to be healthier, but that includes exercise, being active in any way you can, a balanced diet, fruits, vegetables, includes carbs, meats, proteins. You can get proteins in various forms, but we also have to look at work-life balance as well. Stresses in our lives. And then when you're sick, don't be afraid of the pharmaceuticals. They've been tested. And this idea, which is very funny, that we shouldn't have to test it, but a lot of you guys that, follow Pierre Poilievre and think he's God's gift to the world were against the COVID vaccine because it wasn't tested enough. A lot of people died from COVID because they refused to take the vaccine. There's an estimate of over 300,000 people in the U.S. alone, and there was a total of, during the pandemic, was just under 1.3 million. So that's about 25% of the deaths from COVID. Could have been averted if they just took the vaccine, but there was a lot of misinformation out there. And they paid the price. That's why we have rules and regulations. To protect those people. The ones that were sold a lie. And I think it was our duty to try to help them. Anyways, guys, that's it for me. Let me know what you think. Take care. We'll talk later.